average headlight assembly replacement in the United States costs between $250 and $1,000 for a standard vehicle. If you drive anything with LED or adaptive headlights, that number climbs past $1,000, and for some luxury models, past $4,000 per side. But here is what makes that price tag even harder to swallow. AAA tested deteriorated headlights from two popular sedans roughly 11 years old under official Department of Transportation standards. Those yellowed, hazy lenses produced only 22% of the light that new headlights produce. That is an 80% reduction in your ability to see the road at night, and half of all traffic fatalities in America happen after dark. Meanwhile, a Japanese car care company headquartered in Osaka has been selling a two-step headlight restoration kit for under $25 since before most of us were born. The entire process takes less than 30 minutes, but the method itself is only half the story. There is one coating step at the end that separates a temporary polish from a multi-year restoration. Most guides on the internet skip it entirely. Quick disclaimer before we start, the tips and guides in this video are for educational purposes only. Every vehicle is different, so please use this information at your own risk. We are not responsible for any damage or injury that may occur. When in doubt, always consult a professional mechanic. Here's how widespread this problem actually is. There are roughly 278 million registered vehicles and over 556 million polycarbonate headlights in service across the United States right now. The average age of a vehicle on American roads has hit a record 12.2 years. That means the vast majority of headlights out there have already outlived their factory protection. Yet, according to AAA, only 20% of American drivers have ever restored their headlights. The remaining 80% are driving with degraded visibility and do not even know it. The company behind that Japanese kit is called Soft 99. It was founded in 1954 Osaka by a man named Yukichi Tanaka. His first product was a wax designed for wooden furniture. Japanese car owners started using it on their vehicles because imported car wax was too expensive in post-war Japan. From that single product, Soft 99 grew into Japan's leading car care manufacturer, listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, exporting to over 30 countries with more than 70 years of chemical research and development behind every product they ship. But to understand why their methods work where toothpaste and baking soda fail, you need to understand what is actually happening to your headlights at the molecular level. Your headlights are not made of glass. Every headlight manufactured since the late 1980s uses a material called polycarbonate plastic. It is lightweight, it is impact resistant, and it is extremely vulnerable to sunlight. When your headlights left the factory, they were coated with a microscopically thin layer of UV-cured polyurethane hard coat, only a few micrometers thick. That single layer is the only barrier standing between the plastic and the sun's ultraviolet radiation. Here's what happens when that barrier fails. UV radiation carries enough energy to break the chemical bonds that hold polycarbonate polymer chains together. Scientists call this process photo-oxidation, and it works the same way. A sunburn damages skin, except plastic does not heal. The polymer chains fracture. Oxygen molecules attach to the broken ends. The surface turns yellow, then cloudy, then develops microscopic cracks that engineers call crazing. Think of it like a sunburn on plastic that never recovers. The damage only accumulates. AAA's laboratory testing confirmed the consequences. Those 11-year-old headlights they tested under Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 108 produced just 22% of the light output of new headlights on low beam. On severely degraded lenses, light output drops by as much as 70%. At that level, restoration is not a cosmetic preference. It is a safety requirement. And that factory UV coat, it starts breaking down as early as 3 years into a vehicle's life, with most headlights showing visible deterioration by year 5. Once the coating is gone, the raw polycarbonate underneath absorbs UV radiation directly, and the degradation accelerates exponentially. Here is the part that should frustrate you. There is an entire industry that profits every time your headlights reach this point. Most drivers try one of 3 things when their headlights go cloudy. None of them solve the actual problem. The first is toothpaste. Toothpaste contains mild abrasives designed for dental enamel. Rubbing it on a lightly oxidized lens removes a thin layer of surface haze and creates a temporary visual improvement. The second is baking soda paste, which works on the same abrasive principle. The third is bug spray, which is even more aggressive. Its solvents literally dissolve the oxidized plastic layer. All three share the same fatal flaw. They strip the yellowed surface, but leave the raw polycarbonate completely unprotected. No UV inhibitors, no sealant, no barrier of any kind. The lens starts reoxidizing within weeks. Consumer Reports tested commercially available DIY restoration kits and found that the hazing effect returns within approximately 1 year in most cases, because the included sealant is simply not durable enough. And the alternative? Your dealer will happily sell you a brand new headlight assembly. A Toyota Corolla LED headlight module runs about $900. A Volvo XC90 assembly costs close to $2,800. A BMW i8 laser headlight can exceed $5,000 per unit. That is just parts before labor. The industry makes money when you replace, not when you maintain. Japanese chemical engineers solved the reoxidation problem decades ago, and the answer is not a thicker polish or a stronger abrasive. It is chemistry that works at the molecular level. The molecular level solution is deceptively simple. It is a two-step process that Japanese detailers have refined over 7 decades, and it addresses the one thing that every internet hack ignores: replacing the protection your headlights lost. Step 1 is surface preparation. You need to remove the damaged oxidized layer of polycarbonate to expose fresh, clear plastic underneath. The professional approach is wet sanding with a progressive grit sequence. You start at 800 grit to cut through heavy oxidation, move to 1500 grit to refine the surface, then 2000 grit, and finish at 3000 grit. Each level removes roughly half the scratch depth left by the previous one. You keep the surface wet throughout to prevent heat buildup and wash away debris. The result is a uniformly smooth lens ready for coating. If wet sanding sounds intimidating, Soft 99 designed an alternative. Their Light 1 kit includes a chemical base cleaner that dissolves and lifts oxidation without sandpaper. You apply it with the included cloth, rub with firm pressure across the entire lens, and the chemical does the cutting work that abrasives would normally handle. But here is what separates this from every toothpaste tutorial on the internet. Step 2 is the actual method. After the surface is clean and clear, you apply a hard top coat that creates a brand new UV protective barrier on the lens. The Soft 99 Light 1 kit includes this coating. You shake the bottle, apply the liquid onto the included sponge, spread it evenly across the lens, and let it dry. The coating film takes 3 to 4 days to fully harden into a durable protective layer. You do not touch the lens or get it wet for at least 24 hours after application. You are not just cleaning your headlights. You are literally replacing the factory UV protection that degraded over the last 5 to 10 years. That is the same job a dealer accomplishes by swapping the entire assembly for $1,000 or more. You are doing it for under $25 in under 30 minutes. Now, this restoration works on the vast majority of headlights, but there is one condition where it can actually make things worse. If moisture has entered inside the headlight housing through a failed gasket seal, the cloudiness you see is coming from the inside, not the outside. No amount of external sanding or coating will fix an internal moisture problem. You need a seal replacement, or in some cases, a full assembly swap. How do you tell the difference? Run your finger across the outside of the lens. If you can feel roughness or texture, the damage is external oxidation, and this method will work. If the outside feels smooth but the lens still looks foggy, the problem is likely internal condensation. That requires a different approach entirely. For the 90% of cloudy headlights caused by external UV degradation, here is the thing most restoration guides leave out entirely. The sanding and polishing? That is the easy part. What determines whether your headlights stay clear for 3 weeks or 3 years is what happens in the final 5 minutes. This is the 5-minute step that changes everything, and it comes down to a single word: coating. Without a UV protective coating, your freshly sanded polycarbonate is more vulnerable than it was before you started. You've just removed whatever remained of the factory hard coat. The raw plastic is now fully exposed to ultraviolet radiation. If you stop here, which is exactly what toothpaste and baking soda do, the lens will start yellowing again within weeks, not months. Consumer Reports confirm this with their testing. Most commercial restoration kits that include only a basic sealant lose their clarity within approximately 1 year. The reason is simple. The sealant is not durable enough to replace what the factory originally applied. Japanese car care approaches this differently. The coating is not an afterthought. The coating is the method. Sanding is just preparation, and the level of coating you choose determines how long your results last. Level 1 is a polymer sealant or carnauba wax. Easy to apply, inexpensive, but it acts as a sacrificial layer that wears away within 3 to 6 months. Good for a quick fix, not a long-term solution. Level 2 is a dedicated headlight hard coat, like the one included in the Soft 99 Light 1 kit. It cures into a rigid film on the surface that resists UV penetration and road contamination. Real-world durability runs roughly 6 to 12 months depending on climate and sun exposure. Level 3 is where Japanese coating technology gets serious. SiO2, ceramic coating, also called glass coating, bonds chemically with the polycarbonate surface at the molecular level. It creates a glass-like barrier only a few micrometers thick that resists UV radiation, chemical attack, and physical abrasion. It is also hydrophobic, meaning water beads up and rolls off the surface, pulling dirt and contaminants with it. Durability ranges from 1 to 3 years with a single application. Soft 99 makes a product specifically for this called Nano Hard Clear, part of their premium G-Zox quartz coating line. It deposits a thin film glass coating on the lens surface, not a temporary silicone layer. But none of these coatings will bond properly to a contaminated surface. Before you apply any coating, you must wipe the entire lens with 70% isopropyl alcohol on a clean microfiber cloth. This removes every trace of polishing compound, oil from your fingers, and residue from sanding. Skip this step and the coating bonds to the contamination instead of the plastic. It will peel or flake within weeks. Apply the coating in shade, never under direct sunlight. The ambient temperature should be between 10 and 25 degrees Celsius. The Soft 99 Megami line specifically warns that the coating reacts with moisture in the air, so avoid application in rain or high humidity. Once applied, do not touch the surface or expose it to water for at least 24 hours. Full chemical hardness develops over 3 to 4 days. Now you have the complete restoration and coating method. But there is a philosophy behind Japanese car care that takes this even further, and it can save you hundreds of dollars before your headlights ever start to yellow. MID-roll CTA. If this chemistry explanation just saved you from wasting money on a toothpaste hack or a $1,000 dealer bill, hit subscribe. Every video on this channel gives you the science behind the method, not just the method. Here is the philosophy. Japanese car care culture does not wait for headlights to turn yellow before taking action. They coat them on day one. The moment a vehicle comes off the lot, Japanese detailers apply a ceramic or glass coating to the headlight lenses as standard preventive care. Not because the headlights look bad, because they know the factory hard coat has a limited lifespan, and the cost of prevention is a fraction of the cost of repair. Here is what the verified data tells us. AAA confirmed that a $21 DIY restoration kit restores light output to roughly 70% of original. A professional restoration can push that close to factory spec, but restoration is reactive. You have already lost years of optimal visibility. Prevention eliminates the problem entirely. A single bottle of SiO2 ceramic headlight coating costs between $20 and $40 and contains enough product to coat 25 or more headlight lenses. Apply it to a new vehicle and reapply a thin maintenance coat every 1 to 2 years at a cost of roughly $5 to $10 per application because you use so little product each time. Over an 8-year ownership period, your total investment in headlight protection comes to approximately $40 to $80. Compare that to the alternative. Without preventive coating, your headlights degrade by year 3 to 5. You either pay $21 for a DIY restoration that needs repeating, or you face a headlight assembly replacement ranging from $250 to over $1,000 for standard vehicles, and significantly more for LED assemblies. A woman who watched me demonstrate this process on her 2012 Camry stood there for the entire 30 minutes without saying a word. When I finished the final wipe and stepped back, she pulled out her phone, called her sister, and said, "You need to come see this. It looks like it just came off the lot." Her dealer had quoted her $780 for 2 new assemblies. The kit I use costs $22. What experienced detailers recommend, based on decades of real-world application, is that combining restoration with an immediate ceramic coating and a disciplined maintenance schedule delivers results that rival full headlight replacement at a fraction of the cost. And the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety found that improving headlight performance by just 1 rating band reduces nighttime crash rates by 4.6%. This is not just about saving money. Clear headlights keep you alive. And the best part is, putting all of this into action takes less time than your morning commute. Here is the complete method, start to finish. Step 1. Wash both headlight lenses with car shampoo and water. Remove all surface dirt and debris. Cost $0. Time 5 minutes. Step 2. Wet sand, using a progressive grit sequence. 800, 1000, 500, 2000, 3000. Keep the surface wet. Use even overlapping strokes. Alternatively, use a chemical restoration cleaner like the Soft 99 Light 1 base cleaner if you prefer to skip sanding. Cost: $5 to $15 for sandpaper or included in a kit. Time: 15 to 20 minutes. Step 3. Wipe the entire lens surface with 70% isopropyl alcohol on a clean microfiber cloth. Remove every trace of compound, oil, and residue. Do not skip this. Cost $3 to $5. Time: 2 minutes. Step 4. Apply your UV protective coating. Spread evenly with the included applicator. 1 thin uniform layer. Do not touch or wet for 24 hours. Full hardness in 3 to 4 days. Cost: $15 to $25 for a kit, or $20 to $40 for ceramic coating. Time: 5 minutes. Step 5. Maintain. Reapply a light maintenance coat every 6 to 12 months for polymer sealants, or every 1 to 2 years for ceramic coatings. Cost: $5 to $10 per application. Time: 5 minutes. Step 6. If you buy a new vehicle, coat the headlights immediately. Do not wait for degradation. Prevention costs less than $40. A replacement assembly costs 20 to 50 times more. Total cost for complete DIY restoration: $20 to $50. Total cost for lifetime preventive care: $40 to $80 over 8 years. Before we finish, there is one habit that determines whether your restoration lasts 6 months or 3 years. Do not wait until the yellowing comes back to recoat. Set a reminder: every 6 months for sealant, every 12 months for ceramic. 5 minutes of maintenance protects months of clarity. At the start of this video, your headlights were producing 80% less light than they should, and somebody was ready to charge you over $1,000 to fix it. Now you know what causes it. You know the chemistry behind it. You know how to fix it for under $25. And you know how to prevent it from ever happening again for under $40 over the entire life of your car. Soft 99 started in 1954 with one simple idea: protect the surface before it fails. Do not wait for it to break and then replace it. 70 years later, that philosophy has not changed. The West replaces. Japan protects. The results speak for themselves. A $20 bottle in 30 minutes of your weekend stand between crystal clear headlights and a 4-figure dealer invoice. The chemistry does not care whether you believe it. It just works. Try this method this weekend. Take a photo before you start and another when you finish, then post both in the comments. I read every single one. And tell me, how much did your dealer quote you for a headlight replacement? I want to see those numbers. If you want the Japanese method for protecting your car's paint from UV damage using the same coating science we covered today, subscribe. That one is coming next. Every script, edit, and voiceover on this channel is crafted with real human expertise, not mass-produced content. If this helped you, subscribe for more.